In a moment, we'll speak to the comedian Lorelei Mathias, who has ADHD. The process of getting the medication can often be a challenge, as she sets out in this sketch, The Admin Zone.
And now here we are in the admin zone. Lola, you've got 2 minutes to retrieve your ADHD meds before your brain's dopamine levels run out. Your time starts now.
Okay, so there's a form here called Your Struggles with Focus and Memory.
Good.
Fill out your entire medical history, scan in school reports, letters from parents or... Oh, look, a pigeon.
Oh dear.
No, honestly, look.
Welcome to the Patient Portal Gateway. Press 1 for appointments. Press 2 for prescriptions. Press 3 if you got distracted and need those options again.
Pay attention.
Welcome to the Patient Portal Gateway. Press 1 for appointments. Press 2 for prescriptions.
Yes, I'm through to the patient portal. There's an old man here writing a prescription onto some parchment with an actual feather, but he's sealing it.
No, dear, he's encrypting it. Give him your memorable word, dear.
I don't remember having to pick a memorable word.
That's it, Kate. And 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
Yes, Lola, you did it.
Hi, yeah, I just need some methylphenidate, please.
That's a controlled drug. We don't keep those in stock.
Brilliant, isn't it? A snippet from the online comedy show Life in ADHD, created by comedian and author Lorelei Mathias, who joins us now. Good afternoon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Comedy is a great way to explain and let people into certain areas of life that, we're not familiar with. But that was so brilliantly precise and using that illustration of, go through this long list. Choose the options, and most of us can't remember, when they say the numbers, you're like, what was I? Was that 4 or 5 or 6? But for somebody with ADHD, explain to us why that's just impossible.
I have to say there's so many people that helped me make that as well. It's all a collective called MelonComedy.com, and Serious Face Productions helped as well. But thank you so much for giving us airtime. So we're just launching the whole sketch now on MelonComedy.com. It airs at 5 o'clock. But yeah, so for me, I've lost count of the times I've kind of burst into tears in the chemist, and it's embarrassing to admit that, but when you've been through the crystal maze and you get to the counter and they say, oh, we've only got a few of those in stock, you'll need to come back, and I just lose it because it's all so hard. And yeah, when you get through to an automated phone line, you do with ADD, you start another task at the same time, because you cannot every minute, you count minutes like calories with ADD, because you are so slow some of the time that I'm kind of obsessed with being efficient. So I will start another task and then I will forget what the choice was. So I have to go back to the start every time that happens to me.
So does that make life quite chaotic?
Yeah, like my life is extremely chaotic. I sort of call it, instead of a prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that's like the area in the brain of executive functioning, so temporal awareness, prioritizing, editing, all of that part of an ADD brain is underdeveloped and deficient. So I call it a prefrontal vortex. And like my comedy show, Life in ADHD, is full of pseudoscience like that, like the frontal adulting lobe and all of those ways. For me, I got diagnosed late 20s, but it's been a real journey of well, there's grief. When you first get diagnosed, there's a period of grief and mourning for all the times you struggled but didn't know why. And my biggest lesson of all was that comedy is the best meds. So what I'm saying to everyone out there, if you're running out of meds, don't worry. Just try and look through your life through the lens of laughter and the hilarity that this condition is a superpower when it's managed, and it's not managed by society at the moment. And,
right.
But you have the most amazing ability to see connections and think of ideas.
That's good. So let's just
do
focus
automated phone lines.
Right. Yes. So on the upside, what does it help you do?
What, ADD?
Yeah.
So instead of seeing what's in front of you, you see what's in front of you and the connections between those things. So I have an incredible ability to see connections and metaphors. So if I'm writing a sentence, my mum always says I'm over egging the pudding. I will say 3 metaphors instead of 1. But I love words. I've written books. I had a novel published when I was 25. Like I've been very successful, but I've burnt out and my brain kind of broke by age 30. And I was like, what's wrong with me? This isn't regular. And all the doctors were like, it's anxiety. But it's not. It's a superpower when managed, but it's also a very serious disability. And I can't stress that enough. It's very fashionable now to say, oh, I'm a little bit ADD. And I do think it's a spectrum. I think people have a bit of, I think we actually have a Pantone of neurodiversity, like, you know, CMYK. I have 80% ADD, 10% dyspraxia, 5% autism, 5% dyscalculia. That's my makeup. Everyone is a bit different. But for me, it's enabled me to be a writer and be successful at that. But I can't tell you how hard it is as well.
Yes, and so you want, by shining a light on the fact that, for example, there's a major shortage of ADHD medication at the moment, to actually help people turn this condition into a superpower. I mean, that sounds pretty serious if you can't get hold of the medication. How are you left?
Yeah, but I guess it's for me, it underlines how hard it is to get it anyway, and that's what I'm sort of saying with this sketch, is that, yeah, it's already too hard, so to make it any harder is beyond cruel, I say. And I would say to anyone that is running out, if you're on the kind of the kind that I'm on, I can just start rationing. So I'm taking like 2 if I've only got to do a few things one day, like unless I'm packing, if I've got to pack a bag or I've got to make a travel or I've got a writing deadline, I'll take the maximum dose. But if I'm only having a rest day on the weekend, I'll save a tablet because I know they're running out.
That's terrible. So
yeah.
in simple science terms, how does it work? What do you take and what effect does that have on your brain?
So, sorry, I just
dropped off there. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, sorry, no, I'm here. I just, I've got notes in front of me, and technology is not my friend. Here we go. In science terms, it's speed. It's actually speed. But if the best way to know if you have ADD, and I wouldn't recommend this, is if you take speed and nothing really happens, and you don't get that big buzz that people that take speed get, you actually feel calmer and your brain kind of works.
Right. Or you could go to the doctor, because we're not recommending.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to the
doctor, but no. Well, it's years and years of trying to jump through hoops to get to them. But what it does is it speeds up the part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, so that side of the brain in charge of prioritizing, and it's like a project manager in your brain. That then works better than it would have done. But if you have a neurotypical brain, you would just speed up all round and feel speedy. But you actually feel calmer because you've got the other bit of your brain sort of managing you in a way and saying, don't shout that out now, wait that person's turn. Because when I get an idea to say things, I live in suspended terror of new ideas. People go, oh, it must be amazing having all these ideas. And I'm like, no, I can't cope with the millions that I've got already. They're all like little idea babies and I want to make them all. But when I've got medication, I can go, okay, just wait your turn. Like, I will come to you in a bit. But without the medication, I want to act on every impulse, because they're like, your thoughts are like the Dali clock. They melt if you don't say them.
Right.
And you panic. But you also don't want to interrupt people. So a person with ADD in a meeting is going through turmoil all the time.
Listen, it's been a fascinating insight. Honestly, we should get you back on, because it really has been an education, Lorelei. Thank you so much. We don't have much time. Just give us a plug for your sketch show again.
Thank
5
you so
o'clock
much.
it goes live, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, the Life in ADHD web series is on my website, which is LoreleiMathias.com. I'm at Lorelei Mathias on Twitter, but the sketch you just heard is MelonComedy.com, and if you just click on the admin zone. But thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Lorelei Mathias there. 6 minutes to 5.
Now, a 94-year-old man who found his dad's beloved